Hello and welcome back to the Makeup and Melodies podcast. So, if you were with me on my last episode, which was exclusively released to BandLab and to Substack, then you will remember that basically I was talking about the different things I was going to talk about on the podcast, but it wasn't actually talking about a specific thing. Well, today we are going to have a deep dive into the Michael Jackson biopic because, of course, I was going to talk about that. I mean, if you look all over my page, who am I posting about the most? Yes, him. So, of course, I was all on board with the movie. Anyway, so it had all sorts of success, which I did not doubt for 1 second because, of course, this is Michael Jackson we're talking about. He is still, I would say, the biggest celebrity that's ever really lived. I mean, I think he's beyond being a celebrity, to be honest. Just person in general, but like the most famous person ever. And I just think it's hilarious how, like, I knew, and a lot of us fans knew, that when it came out, the media was gonna go crazy. Because we all know how the media treats him. I mean, when he was alive, and now they say all sorts of terrible things about him, and I just knew that there was gonna be a huge hate brigade when the movie was released, and the Rotten Tomatoes review, and all the tabloid articles releasing their things on Instagram and everywhere, and all their reviews and everything. I even saw someone say that it was glorifying him as a person and making him out to be like a saint. And I was a bit like, yeah, well, he was a better person than a lot of those saints, actually. But, we won't go there. But basically, yeah, I remember seeing all of that and thinking, wow, they're really trying to sabotage the movie. And I think a lot of us fans were actually a little bit scared, like, oh, maybe the world is going to see that and going to agree with it and then not see the movie and kind of like disregard the movie, because let's be honest, it's hard for us MJ fans because we've got us who, I mean, we defend Batman with all of our hearts, and then you've got the other side who obviously don't like him and say all sorts of things about him. And I think before the movie, that side was a lot more present on social media, like outside of our fandom. And so it's just great to see that people, it's not even just about seeing the movie, it's just the fact that he is having this resurgence. Honestly, that was the first thing I thought of when the movie got announced. I remembered when the Bohemian Rhapsody movie came out and the huge reception that it got, but most importantly, the way Queen was charting everywhere, little kids were loving them. And I mean, it's like in my head, I always forget that Michael Jackson is the biggest artist ever. So like, with or without the movie, he was gonna do that. But all I cared about was the fact that he was gonna, chart again and things like that. And I was so excited for that part. And it's just great to see that beyond the movie, that has happened. Like, I'm not really surprised because I knew that us fans could do that. But it's just amazing to see all these people falling back in love with him, finding out about all of his deep cuts as well. And yeah, it's just been amazing to see as obviously a fan of him. I think it's important though for new fans to remember that I guess I could be classified as a new fan because I became a fan after, everything. I was 5 when the most tragic event ever happened. But, I just think newer fans just need to remember that we are very defensive of Michael. So, like, obviously, if you dislike a song and everything, that's fine. But just if we're a bit, like, snappy sometimes, if you share, like, not a hateful opinion, because if you're sharing a hateful opinion, obviously you're not a fan of him. But just if we're a bit snappy sometimes, it's because we're very defensive of him. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure if you're a new fan of him, you're learning about the history of him. So, yeah, I'm just warning you, if we're not the nicest on social media, we should be. But some fans, yeah, are just very defensive of him. So just keep that in mind. But I think that's with most fandoms anyway. I just feel like our fandom has obviously been through a lot. I mean, you know, and it's insane that we are still as big and strong as we are. I mean, yeah, but just keep that in mind. Like, don't be scared of us, but also, yeah, like, just be careful with some of the things that you do say. Yeah. I think it's really cool as well that we broke the record in June, because June is obviously a month that a lot of us fans kind of dread. Like, I hate the month of June. I actually, like, every single year, I'm just like, oh no, it's coming up again. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to, you know. But I guess, you know, also he got acquitted in 2005 in June, so if you're really that person who gets very upset at that particular date, you can think of June as that month as well, which is, you know, when he got found innocent and everything like that. But I just think it's really cool, yeah, that we did this milestone in June, because now I guess when us fans look into June next year, we can think, oh, it's a year since we did that as well. And yeah, it is a monumental month for us Moonwalkers. So the fact that we did this in that month, I mean, I think about the fact that when he did get acquitted of all those charges, he was obviously really hurt by the way the media treated him and by the way people treated him. So the fact that, like, so many years later we did this and, like, I mean, it's showing that the world has fallen back in love with him again. I think, yeah, it's pretty cool that we did that. With the way the world is at the moment, with everyone being so right wing and just thinking such harsh, terrible things. I mean, the amount of things that I thought, you know, were kind of thrown away with humanity, and, like, you know, like, we became better. Like, we've gone way backwards, and I just think, you know, the fact that he is having this resurgence is so important right now. And if you're a new fan of him, please research him. Look into who he was as a person, because I'm telling you right now, like, obviously he was an amazing singer, he was an amazing dancer, but beyond being a musician, he was such an amazing person. And there's a reason why us fans are so defensive of him, because his message, I mean, there's a video of him saying that love is my message, and he, like, doesn't even know how to wink, which is hilarious. But yeah, just his whole message of love and acceptance and, you know, loving everyone, being open-minded, it's, you know, a very important message that is, you know, hopefully getting relearnt by people. And yeah, if you're a new fan of him, I think that is what you should look into. Look beyond the moonwalk. I mean, I love the moonwalk, but when I started learning other things about Michael, even just watching videos of him talking, because he was so intelligent, and, you know, just watching videos like that made me be like, oh, that's why people love him. I mean, yeah. And it's really rare that you find an artist like that, because I always think separate the artist from the music. But, I mean, there are times where I actually love Michael more than his music. And I'm like, even if he didn't make music, I'd be such a huge fan of him, because he was just such a good person. And yeah, so if you're a new fan, I do suggest that. And yeah, I just am so proud of us Moonwalkers for doing this. And yeah, we should be so proud of ourselves. If you enjoyed this kind of little discussion, then please subscribe to my channel, Makeup and Melodies. I've got a Substack page as well that you can go into. And yeah, thank you for listening. Bye. I will talk to you next time.